Bam.
Awesome sauce. We are
We
live.
live with my bald ass head. Y'all ready?
Well,
Good
we can't
morning.
see your bald ass head though. You're
I
covering it
know.
up.
I know. All right. So now we're live. We'll give everybody a
Hey.
hot second to come on. We are live in multiple places. One, two,
Woo!
three, 5 groups. Right. So being how we're streaming in a couple groups outside of Miss Rochelle's. Rochelle, we would like to have you take a hot minute to kind of give us a little bit of backstory for those that don't know you in our respective groups, things you went through, things you didn't like, how it came to be, and how you found group juice and got to rolling.
Wow, that's a lot.
You got it.
Hold on, I didn't write notes. I don't have my yellow pad. Let's see. I'm Rochelle from California. I'm just this regular person, wife, mom, in the corporate field. I work for a bunch of attorneys. Feel sorry for me. And, I don't even know. I'm trying to remember exactly how affiliate marketing came into my eyeballs. I was Oh, I know now. I had a e-commerce t-shirt store. I was making t-shirts and hoodies, right? Because I was at home during COVID and I wanted something to do. So I get into all this, I buy all the stuff, I start making sales. I spend too much time on this beautiful website because I'm all into, aesthetics. I wanted to look good. Never did it dawn on me that how was I going to drive traffic to this website? I didn't even know that was a term, right? So needless to say, it didn't go very well. And then I was scrolling. People said, post you making your products. Show them everything that you're doing in the background. And I thought, that's weird. Why would I want to show people that? Right? I was like, I didn't want to show them that. I only wanted to show them the nice part of everything. I didn't want to show them the background. Why? I thought that was ugly.
Yeah.
So it didn't work out very well. So somebody said, oh, go on TikTok. You can post your stuff on TikTok. And I'm like, TikTok? I don't even know how to use TikTok. TikTok's for kids. My son's like, oh, let me download it for you. I'll show you how to work it. And I'm like, all right. And then I came across affiliate marketing. But the reason I'm doing all of this is because I've just always had this entrepreneurial spirit. I've been involved in a bunch of MLMs, had my own cookie and cake business. That killed me. And then the e-commerce. So I've always been looking for something. And I thought, how is little old me going to make a business, right? Nobody's going to go buy a store. I don't have $1 million to get shit going. I'm not, Jeff Bezos. How is that going to work, right? I don't even know how this online stuff works anyway. So I'm on TikTok, I'm scrolling, and I see this woman talking about affiliate marketing. And she is around my age, right? So she's not super young, and she's killing it. She's doing these lives talking about affiliate marketing. There's a ton of people in her live. And I'm like, oh my God, this is cool. $7, right? I figured out what it was, how it worked. Okay, we get paid commissions for, da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. So I went all in, and that's Rochelle. If I see something right away, I don't usually super investigate and research. I saw people doing it. That was enough research for me. People were telling me, this is great. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. Pay the $7. Jam through 15 days, right? Taking notes. Write everything down. Because that's the world I'm in. In corporations, somebody tells you something, you better write it down.
Yeah.
That's the world I'm in. When somebody gives you directions, you better write it down, because if you don't write it down, you misunderstood. And then I have to repeat it back. So you want me to do this, right? So I finished that, and then they asked me to pay $2,500 because after the 15 days, I still had no idea what to do, I'm like, hey, you taught me about affiliate marketing, the basics, the fundamentals, how it works, this funnel thing, this autoresponder thing, go get a domain. I did everything they told me to do. Like, as soon as they said get a domain, I paused and got a domain. I did everything. And then I was like, all right, now what? They're like, oh, just go on TikTok. And I'm like, and do what? Like, what do I say? So I watched what other people did. I'm like, this isn't working. I need to buy those $2,500 blueprints. So my husband, being the super nice guy that he is, he's like, all right, if you think that's what we need to do, and we're gonna make money, right? You're gonna make money. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna make money. They said I'm making money. They're all making money. Of course I am. He's like, all right, baby, go for it. Here's a credit card. And God, when I gave that guy my credit card, I like freaked out a little bit because that's a lot of money. $2,500 is no joke. For people like us, that's a lot. And then it just didn't work because I was still lost, and I was just days and days and days of videos and videos after video. It was just, oh my God, it was overwhelming. And I still didn't know what to do.
How long did you try to figure things out after you dropped 2,500?
3 months.
3 months? Okay.
So 3 months I was copying people, like what they were doing. I would just go look at what other people were doing, like the girl that was killing it and several other people that were killing it, or they were saying they were killing it. So I just did everything that they did. And I tried to put like my own words into it because I'm like, okay, I wouldn't say that. So let me say kind of what I would say. But nothing was happening.
The reason I asked that is because, you know, I see we got a lot of vets on. So hello everyone. Good morning. Appreciate y'all jumping on. The reason I asked how long, you tried to figure it out after dropping that is because one thing that I see a lot of people fucking up and kind of screwing themselves is they say, oh, well, I've already invested this. I have to make my money back.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to tell y'all something really quick. If you invested a chunk of money and what you're learning isn't aligning with you, or worse, it is not working, there's 100% chance that you are not going to earn your money back. All right, that's a hard truth that people they sit on. I've been trying to make it work for 6 months. I got to get my money back before I make another investment. I get finances can be tricky and all that shit. But if you keep telling yourself that, I'm gonna tell you another secret. If you're saying I got to make my money back before I change my environment and surround myself with different people and learn from new people that are actually doing what I want to do, if you keep telling yourself that, you're gonna be in the same fucking spot this time next year. All right, like I might be on one today. I'm coming off of my medication from my pollen, so I'm no longer drowsy and shit. But if you're that person, you're like, I'm gonna join every free group. I'm gonna get every freebie lead magnet, every free training. I'm gonna watch YouTube. I'm gonna get my money back. Let me tell you, you fucking yourself is what you're doing. All right. Hate to say it.
Completely, I agree.
That's why I asked.
I think when people, with piggybacking on what you just said, people stick with it because we know, like, you're supposed to keep going, right? Don't give up. Don't stop. The sunshine is right over that hill. But if you've been doing it for so long and there's not even a peak, a ray of sunshine happening, then how is, you know what I mean? How is that going to happen? You got to figure out eventually, like, all right, this isn't working. I need to find something else that is working.
Yep. That's it. That is it. So at what point, and look, guys, y'all can ask any questions, all three of us will share insights and all that good stuff. Yeah, sometimes we got to call folks out. I'll say this before I ask the next question, because I saw Keisha's comment. sometimes you gotta piss people off. You really do. There's a famous quote from the man Dan Kennedy. I read like fucking 12 of his books. He said, "If you haven't pissed someone off by noon, you're probably not making any money." Right? Some folks will be happy
I've
that you
actually heard
told
that
them the
too.
truth. Yeah, it's sometimes the truth does fucking hurt. But my next question was, what happened for you to where you were like, all right, I gotta find something else. I gotta invest in something different. You know, before, like, was it something that happened, or was something click, or like you was just like, I gotta
Yeah,
do something
yes.
different?
I would say as I was trying to keep posting and nothing was happening, I reached out to the person who brought me in and showed me the affiliate marketing ways. And she kind of like I would just have these random questions here and there. I'm like, "Are you really making $40,000 a month just getting on this live and talking about this program?" And then obviously selling the, doing the click funnels. I mean, because that just doesn't that it wasn't adding up to me. I was like, okay, if you make this much money for every person and you're making 40,000 a month, I mean, there I was calculating, going, okay, you would have to be that just didn't make sense to me. She's like, yeah, that's all I'm doing. And I'm like, okay. I kept reaching out and finally she told me, I'm not a coach or a mentor. And I was like, wow, okay. So I went to my husband and I said, there's this huge gap in the market where everyone is joining this particular thing over here. And then they have this Facebook group over here where if you have questions, go over there and ask. I would go into that Facebook group and everybody was saying the same thing. The theme in that Facebook group was, I'm lost. I'm stuck on my funnel. I've been stuck on my funnel for 3 months. And meanwhile, they're not posting. They're not doing any content because we didn't know that's what you have to keep doing, even though you're stuck. Because you're thinking, well, A has to work before I do B. And I was just like, I can't, there's so many people that need help doing this. It's crazy that no one's helping them. So I found something else. I was like, I have to make back this money and I'm not going to make it back by staying here in this program. There was just no help. They had these lives that were just talking about how other people were killing it, not really giving you the sauce, not really telling you exactly what they were doing, just telling you, look what I did, but no details. So I'm like, okay, this isn't helping. I'm glad you're doing it, but can you fucking tell me how you're doing it? So then I found another program and it was pretty inexpensive to hop in. And it worked because it gave me step by step on how to put this funnel together. And I finally got my funnel put together. But the problem was I didn't realize it was only a low ticket. You could only offer low ticket. So here I was putting in all this effort to make $103.65. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, wait a minute. What? That wasn't working either. And I made sales. What?
I know a lot of folks have felt like that. So like, you weren't getting questions answered after you didn't drop 2,500.
Yep.
That sucks. And they weren't even giving you the sauce after you didn't already, paid what you paid. So if you could, in your own words, what is one key piece of advice that you would give someone that may have took a different route or took a lower ticket or just not where they want to be? What's a key piece of advice that kind of has helped you?
The key piece of advice I would give is to have a couple things. Be yourself, be authentic, show up as you and not as anybody else, because copying other people, that's not who you are authentically. So maybe you're professional, or maybe you're funny, or maybe you're a nerd, or maybe, right, or maybe you're bougie, whatever. Just show up as you 100% and people will gravitate towards that. They'll start to like you and they're like, oh, I like this chick. She's cool. She reminds me of whatever, me or my sister or whatever. And they will come, right? That all was being left out, the branding and being authentic. And then number two is, which correlates with that, is telling people just to like go to the link, go to the link, go to the link, and then you never see that person again. I didn't like that because I didn't want to be doing that to people because I know that was done to me and then nobody helped me.
Yeah.
So as soon as I learned from you guys, like it's about relationships and it's about talking to people and getting to know them and where they are and what are their struggles, what are their pain points, and helping that, showing them, listen, I have something for you that will solve that. Like I never put all that together until I got into group juice and triple C's. I had no clue. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah. Most people don't. So I think that's a big one. The relationship side of it.
Completely.
I'm checking, making sure there's no questions yet.
Yeah, and it's a tricky one as far as like what we're talking about with, you know, jumping from products to products, because I experienced this a lot in earlier stages where I would jump from program to program to program. I think my internet froze, right? No, am I still
you're
here?
good.
I would jump from program to program to program, but I never actually applied any of the things, right? It was like I was just always looking for a quick fix, a tactic that was going to, you know, solve all the problems in my business. And then every time I jumped into something new, I would abandon the last thing. And then I did the other side of the spectrum for probably almost 12 months consistently, where I jumped into one thing and it wasn't working. But because I was like, had really bad shiny object syndrome, I like way overcorrected. And then I just continued to show up and write blog posts about topics nobody was looking for, wasn't working. So it's you gotta have to kind of find that delicate balance of like, you know, figuring out if you're actually putting enough effort into making that thing work. And then if you are and it's not working, making a pivot. Right? Because that's the reality of it. Is I know a lot of people will kind of just collect more information, but never actually even apply the information. But then if something is broken, you know, fix it.
Fix it.
Absolutely. Because there's just a lot of information. So you get that shiny object, you get that new thing, and then you're like, oh my God, look at all this information, and it overwhelms you. And you try and like, okay, I don't need that. I don't need that. Let me get this. Let me get this. And let me try and make it work. And then it doesn't work. Because we just want everything now, because that's the society we're in, you know that, like, you can have food delivered to your door and doctors can come to your house. I mean, we're just in that society of convenience. So we want everything really fast.
Yep. I said it last year. I'm still saying it this year. We are literally in the biggest digital era that the world has ever seen. And if you're not adapting and becoming innovative and creating, then you will be nothing more than a consumer, right?
Right.
That's a big one. So you kind of mentioned earlier you had went from, you know, the first thing, and then you found this other lower ticket. And I know you went through that for a while, and you know, before finding group juice and trip C's. So like, what was it that made you, you know, want to keep going? Was it the fact you didn't have the higher ticket, or you weren't learning like, you know, high income skills per se? Like, was it something specific?
I will say on that second program, I did learn a lot. I did. I was actually in we did a TikTok challenge, and me and Jess and this other person won the TikTok challenge. So that really helped me with how to form contact. I got lots of followers and people were really resonating with me. So that was good. I was like, okay, this is great. I like that. But yeah, the low ticket, not to be mean. We're here to make money, right? And actually, I found group juice before I found that second program. And then I got kind of like talked out of it. And I was hearing group juice from Rachel. I saw her on some lives and she was always talking about group juice, group juice, group. I'm like, what is this group juice thing? Like the name was just, I'm like, what? You got some juice in the group? And I would listen to her. And then I just started hearing a lot of people just, you know, once you watch somebody's video, right? I'm getting some more group juice. And I knew that what was missing was the relationship, because that link thing again, I didn't like that. I hated it. Did that even answer your question? Because I fucking forgot what you asked.
Yeah.
I wanted to keep going because I wanted this to work, because like some things I do things for a little bit and then I stop doing it. And my husband will tell you that. He's like, you're always finding the latest and greatest thing and you want to do it. And then you're like, oh, fuck that. I don't want to do that anymore. And then he's like, okay, yeah, fuck that. Like he's always with me, whatever I say. But this is just a different feeling because you're helping people. You're not just, yeah, you're making money, but you're making money because you're helping somebody. Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
Instead of just, like Nate said, trying to like find some other product to push on people that they probably don't even really need, and you just push it because you want to make the money.
Yeah.
And I just really don't want to go. I want to keep going because I don't want to go. I don't want to be involved in the corporate environment anymore. I just want to be home building a business and helping people. And I realize you can actually do that through Facebook groups, even through Instagram. You can do all of that. And what I like especially about Group Juice is that you aren't just, and Rachel said this, you aren't just selling the course. And when she said that to me, I was like, really? You're not? She was like, yeah, no. You can like do your own shit. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, they want you to do your own shit. So if you're into whatever, fitness, or build your Facebook group around fitness. And it's true, because now I have a client who is all into fitness.
Yeah.
She's building her Facebook group. We're talking about, you know, freebies and mid tickets and high tickets and what she's going to offer. And I love it that she took Group Juice and Triple C's and she's building something totally different and not making money online. I can actually see it happening.
Yep.
So you can do whatever you want.
Love that. It blew my mind. We had one guy that Chan had sold to, and he was in the health niche. Like he done certain products as far as like home healthcare and stuff. Excuse me. And he took the offer creation training out of Group Juice and started creating his own master classes. He pulled in like 20 grand, right? Not even to make money online. So it's like the fitness people, like we don't give a shit what you sell. We just want to show you how to sell
Right.
it.
Right.
Help you doing your own shit. So I'm gonna mute myself so I can cough my head off for a second. But Nate, if you could handle this question.
Oh, there you go. Mute yourself.
So this is a good question. What's the difference between a low ticket and a high ticket? You know, it kind of depends on pricing, right? As far as like, and that's not to say that there's any, like we have a suite of different offers from, you know, $17 all the way to $1,000 a month. There's not to say one is better than the other, right? There's time and place for each one, right? So, you know, would usually consider anything above $500 a high ticket product, and anything below that is usually a low ticket product. This will also change depending on who you ask, right? It could be, you know, a lot of bigger entrepreneurs will talk about high ticket products are, you know, 5, 10K, right?
Yep.
One of our main high ticket offers is $1,000 Group Juice. So it's going to kind of depend on the person you're asking. Obviously, as an affiliate, depending on what you're selling, higher ticket products just means you can make less sales and hit your income goals. And realistically, it's not any harder to sell high ticket products. The reasoning why somebody's buying them is usually just different, right? And I'll say this even from experience is usually with the more expensive products, like the clients are usually a lot less of a headache, if that's the right terminology, because they're buying it for a different reason, right? Like if somebody's investing into a high ticket program, course, consulting offer, they're usually going to be more inclined to apply the information or be dedicated to building their business versus somebody who, you know, spends $5 on something and is just like doesn't really care. There's no skin in the game, right?
Right.
So the biggest difference is the price, and you can mix and match with what you're selling. Like we sell a wide array of different priced products. Kind of depends on the goal too, right? If you want to produce cash, or if you actually want to start building a pool of buyers that you can build long-standing relationships with. Like if you've picked up the tone of this live so far, is we're big on relationships. Low ticket products can be really, really good at building longer relationships with people because you can get more volume into them, right? But with that said, you have to prioritize the post-purchase relationship, because then they'll end up usually buying a high ticket product as well.
Right.
100%.
Let me see if there's any other. If you guys have any questions for Rochelle?
You can make money doing low ticket. Of course you can, but the same effort, you're putting the same amount of effort. Why not try and get them into a high ticket? But some people, like you said, they just maybe are just looking around. They just want to get their feet wet. And I have a client who bought Juice Box, and he's doing really well. He's so ready for group juice, but finances, sometimes people, they can't do it yet. But he can make it work, and I can help him. And he reaches out to me all the time, and I give him as much information and share as much knowledge as I can with him so that he can make this work.
Yeah. This is a good question. What would be your advice if you're showing yourself and they don't like you as you are? So like you're showing up as who you are and they don't like you. I mean this like respectfully to you and disrespectfully to everyone else. If they don't like you, then fuck them. Right? They're not your people. Right?
Right?
Like seriously, if look at what you've gone through in life. This goes for everyone that's watching. If you look at your life, I'm pretty sure you probably got some family members, you probably got some friends, folks you went to school with, folks that you know as adults, and y'all just don't vibe, y'all don't jive together. That's okay. All right, I got people that hate my guts, but them not liking me changes nothing for me, right? So now on the tactical side of this question, what I would say is continue showing up as you, creating content, be it video or written, showing what you're all about, hobbies. Like people know that I like to hunt, I like to fish, I'm outdoors, I'm a family guy, right? I like being outside. People know that because I put it in my content, right? So like continue showing up as the person that you are, sharing your lessons, your failures, your wins, what you're learning, how you've been doing what you've been doing, who you're learning from, investments that you've made, skills that you're building on. Like just by sharing all of that, the people that don't like what you're saying, they will, kick rocks. But the people that do vibe and resonate with what you're saying, those are going to be the people that pay attention to you more and more and more. And eventually you'll share one thing. Like you might have shared 100 things at this point, but you'll eventually share one thing that just hits them right there.
Right.
And they're like, that's it. That's what I want to do. That's what I needed to see. And that's when the relationship will move even further, getting closer to them becoming a customer or a client. Right. So continue showing up as you. Right. And if they don't like you, fuck them. Like there's people out there every day that still look at my shit and they fucking hate flip, but they still watching though. Right. I'm cool
I can't imagine somebody not liking Beata, number one. She's like one of the nicest persons I know. Keep showing up with your cats because we love your cats. And like Flip said, have your cats there. Now they know you like cats. They know you like coffee. And you talk about what you're doing. I don't know if she really means if people don't like her. I think maybe she thinks that maybe she's not connecting with enough people because everybody likes you. That I
think the biggest thing too is like, without giving you some bland advice and being like, hey, just keep going, but test different angles, right? Test different types of content, different styles, different topics, different pain points,
Like that.
and like obviously put you at the forefront of your business to kind of like flip it on its head is like the other side of the spectrum is you create this fictitious character of you on the internet, right? You create a placebo of yourself to try to connect with more people, but then what happens if they buy from you and then they feel like they're working with a complete stranger? They're going to be turned off the second that they actually start to get to know you, because they're going to feel like you kind of pulled the wool on them, right, to get them to buy or something like that.
Yep.
So not to be cliche, right? Get like keep doing what you're doing, keep showing up as yourself, right? That like it's so important. I think the thing that a lot of people neglect or don't see is it's almost just as important to be yourself to repel people that you don't want to work with as it is to gravitate your people, right? Because
So true.
working with clients, like having people in your world that are like not your cup of tea, it's a nightmare for all parties, not just you, for them. It just becomes a headache, right? So and play around with all of the like if you feel like you're not getting enough people into your world, you're not getting enough people to connect with you or have conversations, take the next 30 days and make it your mission to test as many content angles as you can, right? In your TikTok videos, in your short form videos, in your written content, like play around with a bunch of different topics, lengths, styles, because then once you start figuring out what style of content's going to perform for you individually, you can double down on it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to be different for everybody, right? If we talked about in the beginning of this interview where it's like just copy everybody else, well, the reason that doesn't work is because everybody's brands are different and everybody's social media is a bit different. So content that's working for me does not mean it's going to work for the next person. Right? You have to figure out an actual style of content that's going to work for you. And that goes for everybody watching this on the live or the replay. You kind of have to throw some stuff at the wall to figure out what's going to work for your audience specifically, or the audience that you are building.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing. Because I saw where the ad had commented one more thing. If you don't feel like folks are connecting with you as much as you want or you think that they should, you also got to keep in mind that each new piece of content is probably going to be seen by new people, right? So they may not be at the spectrum of awareness that you want them to be. So like what we learned from Jacob, it's like folks are really in like three buckets. One is brand new to you; they don't know who you are from Adam and Eve, right? They're probably not problem aware, and if they're not problem aware, they definitely are not solution aware, right? So like, how do you get someone problem aware? That's going to be you talking about stuff that you've learned, stuff that you've done, stuff that you offer, right? Like if I went out on, say, my TikTok channel right now, I was like, hey, like, are you sick of starting the month at zero and like you got to keep going to work in order to get paid, right? I'm gonna perk a lot of people's ears up. And if I said, look, what if you could start the month at $1,000, so your mortgage is automatically paid, right? You start every month, your mortgage paid. It's a bill you don't have to worry about, right? So I'm then making them aware, like, oh, okay, well, I do have that problem. I've got to go and work 40, 50, 60 hours a week before I can make my mortgage payment, right? So they're aware now. And then they might hit that follow button. The next couple videos, I might talk about the solution. Hey, here's how you stop starting every month at zero. You start building MRR into your business, the monthly recurring. Right? You can do this with affiliate marketing, consulting, all that cool stuff. But then I'm talking about the solution on how they can fix that problem that they don't like. Same thing with folks that are already in business, right? Hey, you got to start a brand new mountain, heading towards the sales that you want to hit each month. Right? Same problem, different angle, right? You got to make 10 affiliate sales every month. What if you can make 10 sales this month and you get paid for the next 8 months, right?
Yeah.
Same problem, different angle. So like, just keep that in mind. Like, new folks are seeing you, and then you've also got folks that have been watching, so they have to see that one thing before they tip over to become a customer or a client.
I will add on that is I do see a lot of affiliates talk about the features of Group Juice. They're just talking about how great it is and which it is. And there's so much support. They're just concentrating on the program. And I'm like, you can't just always be talking about the program, right? What is the program going to do for you?
Yep.
Not just like, pay for this and it's going to solve all your problems.
Yeah, break it all down.
Yeah.
Break it all down.
Yeah, and I think a big thing for a lot of people in sales in general, right? Affiliates too, is conveying, as Rochelle said, the outcome, figuring out the emotion or the reasoning behind why somebody's buying something. And the thing with like Group Juice or other products is you can usually pull on a lot of different buying triggers or a lot of different pain points and solutions. And it can be a little bit different for everybody. But I think a really fun exercise that I don't remember where I heard it, but it's like the reasoning behind somebody buying something. So if you talk about like, you ask somebody why a dude's buying a razor, right? And some people would say hygiene, right? Some people would say he wants to, so like health, right? Or some people would say relationship because his wife won't give him a kiss if he has a beard, so he has to shave his face, right? There's like so many different angles as far as like emotional triggers to pull on, right? And that's a very important one, is because the reality is without like, especially if you're leveraging what's in Group Juice, because there's probably way too many videos if we're being honest. It sounds extremely overwhelming. Like, hey, there's 100 videos in here that's you can watch. Like, but what are those videos gonna do for them? Like, what is the outcome for the actual person? Which kind of goes in line with this question here, is how do you know this is what you want to do? You have to anchor in like a why. Like, what type of life do you actually want to live? And if you don't want to live a life that's not like a regular 9 to 5, then online business could be for you.
Yeah, your why has to be super strong. It can't be. I find some people just say, well, I just want to make some money. But why do you want to make the money? Like Demi always tells me, like, just keep digging in on the why. Well, why do you want to do that? Well, X, Y, Z, you want to do this. But why? And then you really can nail down your why, because just money if you think that making some extra money is going to keep motivating you when the times get tough, when this doesn't seem to be working on certain days, or you don't feel like posting content, you don't know what to say, you're in a bad mood, whatever it is, what's driving you? Just to make some money? You're probably not going to do it anymore.
Yep. It's a big one.
I always ask people that, like, why do you want to do this? It's one of my first questions.
Yep. I got 7 whys. Typically, if you ask one why question, you can get like 6 more out of it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually a really fun exercise to do. I think it was by Dean Graziosi. It's called, I think it's The Millionaire Success Secrets, in one of his books, where he talks about 7 layers deep, where if you're really trying to figure out your reasoning why on doing something, is you ask yourself the same question 7 times. So like, hey, why do you want to build an online business? It's like, okay, I want to build an online business because I want money. Well, then why do you want the money? Right? Oh, I want the money so I can be home with my family. Well, why do you want to be home with your family? Right? And then once you get down farther enough, like to the point at the end, that's the actual reasoning as to why, and what's going to kind of root you to pursuing entrepreneurship or doing something outside of the norm, or even in the norm, right? Like, people struggle with conviction with doing regular stuff too. So
I like that. I like what you said there about, I have 7 whys.
Yep. Go deeper. Long form. This question, long form can be video or written. Like when you hear us say long form, it doesn't always mean just like a post or an email, something that you would type or write. You can do a long form video. Like I've got longer form videos on my YouTube channel. This will be a long form video that lives in the group, right? So like if you're struggling with long form, look at stories that you can tell, right? Like inside of my group, I dropped a quick post. I had a Facebook memory pop up from 2 years ago where Jacob had tagged me in a post congratulating me for doing 11,000 in 5 days. Right, that was 2 years ago. So I told a little story. I thought it was kind of cool. You want to show folks what's possible, and you can do that really well through stories. So look at any story that you can tell. You know, something that you've went through, maybe a struggle you came across, or how you achieved a win. Look at how you can tie any story, you know, to a lesson, right? Or aha moment, failure, struggle, etc. We got this term where we talk about taking brain dumps. Look at all your conversations. All right, look at folks you're talking to. Look at questions that you've seen pop up in other communities. Look at your feeds. If you scroll TikTok or Facebook, I guarantee you'll find something that either lights you up or pisses you off. Content. Tell a story. Relate to it. What's your take? What's your perspective? These are all things like most people will overcomplicate the shit out of content, even though content ideas are staring them in their face every single day. Right.
Yeah, I've struggled with, I remember when you guys told me about long form content, I like freaked out. I was like, are you serious? And I would go look at people's long posts. I'm like, there's no way I could write something that long about something. But yet here I am. Now I'm doing it because just like Flip said, something came up in a Facebook memory and I wrote a long post about it. And then of course I parlay it into like what I'm doing now. Or I see something that's happening that I don't like and I write a post about it. You know, it could be something that happened at the grocery store. It could be something that happened at work, anything, something in your kid's life, your spouse's life. And just scroll your feed and you'll find something that you want to write about. It just takes practice, right? I think like once you do it, like I remember the first time I did it, my stepbrother was like, my God, that was so long. Okay.
Well, and I think
all you got out of what I said was that it was long, or, oh, you look so nice. And I'm like, I just put a long form post and all you wanted to comment on was my hair. For real?
And that definitely happens in the online space. Like you put all your energy into writing these like long posts, and especially in the earlier stages, because it's naturally harder to write that content, right? It's like spend more time. I remember when I first started writing written content on Facebook, it was like it would take me hours, and I would write it on. I was still working a full-time job, so I would usually write out my entire Facebook post on like a piece of paper at work. Wow. And then I would like come home and type it up. But then you get crickets. So it's like, or the total, the irrelevant comments, like great post, like
nice shirt, Flip, Nate.
And the reality is like long form content could be virtually anything, right? There's more information inside of that piece of content, but I know it's a big struggle for a lot of people. So don't overthink it. I think is a big thing when it comes to writing content. Something that I was telling somebody the other day is posting something is better. Posting anything is better than crippling yourself to the point where you don't post anything, right? Because a lot of the times what I'll see is people will overanalyze to the fact that their content's not going to be perfect, so they won't post anything. And the thing with the content game and building a personal brand through content creation and sales is it's a cumulative game, right? So the more content that you're producing, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to get better at creating content. Writing content is going to become easier, and you're going to start building relationships with people at scale, right? You're going to start posting content. People are going to start consuming your content, even if it's not good, right? Like if you guys went in my group and I don't encourage any of you guys to do this because this would take you an ungodly amount of time and you could be more effective with your time. If you went back 2 or 3 years or 4 years into my group and you saw some of the content that I put out, you'd be like, this dude cannot write for shit. Like, he's on camera, he's awkward as hell, right? Versus where I'm at now, right? It started with me not being good at anything. I mean, I worked minimum wage jobs, blue collar, right, to where we're at in business now. But those people that come along on that journey with you, it's a really cool thing for them to experience with you, right? They watch your growth, right? If you aren't good at writing content, you make a post and you're like, hey, I'm nervous as shit to write this piece of content, but I made it my mission to start posting content every day so I could build my personal brand. If that's something you'd be interested in, be sure to drop a follow, right? Somebody follows you. And then over the next 6 months, they watch you grow and have success. Just you showing up in your business is going to inspire them. They're like, hey, I wish I could post content, right? Oh, 6 months ago, I watched their content. It was there and now it's here. Right? I think I'm going to send them a message and see how I can do the same. Right.
Yeah, you don't realize what you're doing. You don't think, like what you just said. You're not thinking that you're going to keep doing this and somebody's going to watch you and you could inspire somebody. And also the word long form content, I think just scares us because we think it has to be like this 20-page thing and it doesn't have to. Just like start out whatever makes you feel comfortable. Whatever you can get on that post or in a video, just do what you can do and just try to keep getting better. And you will, because you keep doing it. You know that, right? When you first started riding a bike, you fell 20 million times, but then you just kept doing it and you got better and better. And now you're riding the bike with no hands.
Yep. That's it. Love it. Another question. So I know we got like a mixed array of folks. Some people haven't started. Some folks don't have a grasp on things enough to make a decision to start. Then we got folks that started a long time ago, still not, gaining the traction that they want. And then we got some folks that are, crushing it. So when you came into Group Juice, right, you already had some knowledge, you already had some results under your belt. But when you came into Group Juice, you made a couple high ticket sales very quickly. Right. So I don't want folks to get confused and think that always happens, because it doesn't. So could you kind of give us a walkthrough of maybe why you were able to close sales pretty quickly, or some of your best advice around realistic expectations?
I will be honest. My first high ticket sale in Group Juice was 72 hours later. That's because I had built a relationship with somebody from the other program that I was with, and we were friends and we had things in common, and she saw what I was doing and she was like, I want that. If you think this is amazing, I trust you because I know what we're doing over here. The low ticket situation it's not working. If you think that I can do this, then I'm going to jump on. Like, she just trusted me.
Yep.
She didn't really know all the details. She just trusted me right
that right there.
She was
relationship.
like, I'm doing it. I'm in.
Yep. So let that be a lesson to all of you guys. Like, the relationship was already there based on things that she had previously done. Right. So relationship led to a trusted influence. Right. People sleep on this. If someone pays attention to you, and even if y'all chat and it's not even business related, but they pay attention to you for a month, 3 months, 6 months, you are naturally building authority, right, through the relationship. And you're also earning the power of influence, right? Yeah. This is how, we teach. Number two, this is how me and Nate have literally sold out every single offer that we've ever created. Any product, any promos, any JVs, etc. We have the power of trusted influence. One, because we've done all the shit, right? So like, don't sleep on the power of building a simple relationship, just actually getting to know someone, right? The more content you create, the people that are consuming you, they're watching what you're doing. They're paying attention. If you're showing up every day and they're scrolling every day, guess what? They're seeing you every day. Each day that goes by, they feel like they know you even more, right? This is the power of consistency through content that is simple because it builds the relationship by default.
It's so true because you don't even, I don't even know that I'm doing it. And then, well, I know that I'm doing it now, but at that time I didn't. And then my next, like, I think I got like a few more, like in, I don't know, it was like 19 days from people that I did not know, that didn't know me, that I didn't know them personally. They just found me through TikTok and I brought them into my Facebook and we started talking and they trusted me. And yeah, some people you're going to meet are going to be, they're ready. They're like, I want to do this. And there's other people that, well, they want to do it, but maybe they can't afford it. But it was the relationship that I built in the DMs with those people and them watching my content and them resonating with me, right? She's working a full-time job. I'm working a full-time job. If she can do this and she's making it happen, then I can do that. And people see that within you. Because that's my thing. It's like I'm working a full-time job still. And some people are like, well, if you're doing so well, you know, why haven't you quit your full-time job? Well, shit, I'm in California. Yeah, I can't do that yet. That's my plan for sure.
Some people like their job.
By
Not
December.
everybody wants to quit. You know,
Sure,
like look at Reagan. Reagan loves her fucking job. She travels and she's making more with, you know, affiliate marketing and her online business than she does at work, but she still keeps working.
See, yeah, that's cool. That's good. If you like your job, that's awesome. Keep doing it. I like my job. I like the people. It's cool, and it pays me well, but I don't want to do that. I'm in a point in my life where me and my husband want more freedom. We don't want to be tied down. We want to get in the RV and just book. And then you can do whatever you have to do on your laptop and just meet people around the world around this. I want to just travel the whole country. That's kind of like what we want to do now. Not to be a millionaire. I'm not doing this to be a millionaire.
Right. Just doing it for freedom. I love that.
Yeah. Total time freedom.
We've still got quite a few folks on. So look, you guys have
comment.
Yeah. If you guys have any specific questions for Rochelle or us, let us know in the comments. If not, I'm gonna do a quick rapid fire as we finish things up. But if you got something you want to specifically know from any of us, you know, Rochelle, myself, or Nate, put it in the comments now while we're live. If you're catching this on the replay, you can still put that down because we're in a couple groups, Rochelle's group, a couple of our groups. So put those down in the comments for whatever you got. But there's a question.
It's going to depend on the platform, right? It would really change depending on where you're actually writing that piece of content. Sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. So perfect example, like, you know, Facebook posts, like nobody wants to read a 7,000 word post. They're probably not going to make it all the way through the end of that post. With social media, like specifically, you can like even shorter content is going to be considered long form posts, right? 2 to 500 words, right? Like, whereas like blogging, if you do a blog, anything less than 600 words is not enough content.
Wow.
You need like a minimum of 600 words to even be considered like a meaty enough piece of content. So it's going to change, right? And then if you look at like Twitter, 150 characters max. So that's maybe like, you know, 30, 40 words or something. Don't quote me on that because I don't use Twitter enough to know. I just think I've heard that somewhere. It's gonna change, right?
Right.
But you know, it's get like the thing too with content on Facebook is it's going to change depending on like the goal of the content, right? And what I mean by that is like shorter content's usually going to get more attention, more people, more hand raisers, but the quality of those conversations that you're generating off that content is usually going to be a little bit lower, meaning you're going to have to do more conversation in the DM to actually close a sale, versus longer content's going to like weed people out, but it's going to bring in a higher quality of people into the actual conversation, making the sales process easier for you. And you can kind of ebb and flow between the two, right? Just because it doesn't mean you have to do long form content every single day, right? You can mix and match based on what's going on in your life, like a content style, right? You'll see in my groups and in Rochelle's group and Flip's group, right? There's no set rule of thumb where, hey, you have to write 205 words every single day. Like that's
right.
It changes.
Yeah.
I think I do my long form content like maybe like once or twice a week. I don't. When I first started, it was hard for me because I was so in my head. Now I'm just like Flip said earlier, I just kind of find something in my life or like in my feed, and then I'll start to talk about that, and it makes it easier.
Yep.
And you're right about the short form content, because in my short form content, like on TikTok, I have to work way harder in the DMs because they're like at zero. They have no clue. So I have to bring them all the way through. But that's okay because you're building the relationship and it gives you practice talking to people.
Sorry.
I tried to pull this one.
Again.
Sean, what's up, dude? I'll say I know you jumped into SAA not too long ago, and you're pretty fresh in group juice too. So before short form video was a thing, when I was in SAA, I went hard on my personal Facebook profile and Messenger. I had a group, but I didn't put a lot of energy into growing it. All right, but I did create a group. This was back in like 2020. But as far as posting, I was posting some kind of content at least once, sometimes twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening. Right, because I got audience in the U.S. and I got audience that are in Australia, just different parts of the day. So you could test that. In the beginning, I would say post as many times as you could. But as far as Facebook, once in the morning, once in the evening, and you can kind of see how your audience responds. Still do stories, but in today's time, we got short form. So minus my last 2 days, I didn't post a whole lot because I was just sounding like Pee Wee Herman in this bitch. You want to post as much as possible. If you can post 3 to 5 times on TikTok or Reels every day, fucking do it. If you can post at least once on your profile, fucking do it. In your Facebook group, at least once a day, right? If you miss a day, it's okay. Just come back, get back in the moment. I missed like 3 days. I took 3 days off of social media, other than private client calls and group juice calls, core, and etc. But I took 3 days off of social media. It didn't kill my business or my engagement or my audience.
Yeah, I used to post like 3 to 5 times a day, but I don't even do that anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
I used to post a lot more, and now I post less.
Yeah, you get to that point.
I think as much as you can, if we're being honest, right? As much as you can I think building a content cadence that's going to allow you to show up consistently for longer periods of time is more important than how much you're posting every single day, right? So if that means you can only do one written post and a TikTok a day, but you can do it every day for the next 6 months, then you're better off than I'm going to post 72 TikToks today and then I'm not going to post again for 8 weeks, right? So finding your own, like, it depends on your schedule. If you work a job, if you, what you have going on in your life, I think figuring out what you can do based on your actual life to post consistently is the biggest thing, right? Sure. TikTok is not going to harm you if you're posting more content, whereas like a Facebook profile or your group, usually going to say 1 post maximum per day, right? That's kind of a good rule of thumb, I would say. We
There's
got
a
to.
question about lead magnets. Yeah. Yes, I have one. It goes out in my email sequence, and it's just about affiliate marketing, what it is, how it works. I have mindset. Actually, my number one thing in my affiliate marketing ebook for newbies is mindset. I think a lot of people miss that. They talk about how it works, commissions, the tools that you need, but I talk about mindset in mine.
Yep.
You got to give people a freebie because they're giving you their email address. Like, they're not just going to sign up for nothing. They want something. So you have to give them that. And I'm also working on another, not a freebie. I'm trying to decide whether I want it to be a freebie or not. But
Yeah.
it's a guide on how to post. It's a social media guide that I'm working on right now, putting together. And it's going to have actual videos in it. So it'll be like on Canva, it'll be have written, and it'll also have little videos on how to do things and how to show you how to do it.
Heck yeah.
Awesome. I'll give you guys some secret sauce.
Oh,
Right.
I hope so.
Most people don't even look at it this way.
I know.
Right? Check this out. Every time you make a post or a video, that's a lead magnet in itself. If your content is good and valuable and does anything, like change a perspective or give an aha moment or cause their reality to shift or the way that they think, that's a lead magnet in itself. It's also an offer, right? If I just make a post telling folks how I think, what am I doing? I'm showing them, one, how I think, and it's going to challenge how they think if it's different. I'm causing a shift, right? If I give them enough value inside of my content, whether it's a video or a post or whatever, they're naturally going to want to get more from me if they vibe with it. That's a lead magnet in itself. So don't overthink your lead magnets.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
God.
On the realm of an actual lead magnet, like you're giving something, away. Kind of like Rochelle said, look, how can you help someone get a quick win? Right. Nate reminded me that I gave him a piece of advice a long ass time ago. Was like, it was an old strategy I used to use. It's quick win. All right. If you're chatting to someone or you got folks in your audience that are, could use something of what you have, your offer or whatever, help them with a quick win. Right. Because I'll give you an example. Some folks are like, I can't get any leads. All right. What if I show you how to get your first 10 leads? All right. That are actually wanting to see what you got. Fuck yeah, I want it. All right. So I give you a strategy to get your first 10 leads. But then you realize when you get those 10 leads, you don't know what to do with them. You don't know how to move them through the customer journey to become a buyer. Guess what I'm going to do then? I'm going to show you an offer. It's going to be like, hey, here's how you convert 3 out of those 10 leads within the first week. How you make your first high ticket sale, right? So I helped them get a quick win, but it also allowed them to see a problem they didn't even know that they had.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't create the problem, but they found it, right? And here I am with the solution that is ready. Like folks out here, they can go out and get views on TikTok. They can go out and, post content on Facebook. But where most folks are missing the mark is they don't know how to craft or create a piece of content or write a post or copy that has folks like, hey, I got this credit card, swipe it for that thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta create demand. You gotta create want and desire. Right. If you can do that while also giving them a quick win, you've already won the game. This is a game, guys. The more testing, the more shit you do, the more things you try, the more results you get, the more data you get, the better you're going to continue to get. And this is what we breed over there in Group Juice. All right. I said it in my post today. We don't gatekeep a fucking thing.
No.
Like, hey, here's exactly how we've done what we've did. Here's what we're learning today. Ask anybody who's in Group Juice how Tuesday calls go. Like, we don't hold anything back.
We don't do like, oh, I have this one more thing for you that's going to really help you, but now you have to pay for it. Yeah, no, we don't do that. You gotta buy this over here if you want to know that.
Yeah.
Which is what a lot of people do.
Rapid fire question, real quick. Rochelle, what's your biggest takeaway from the success that you've had since joining Group Juice and Trip C's? What's like the biggest thing that you've seen change for the better within your personal brand and your business?
My biggest takeaway is building relationships. It's all about the relationship. That's like my biggest takeaway. And my second one is you're the niche. People get bogged down on what do I do and what do I say, and then niche down. And then and people are talking to one person when they're creating a video, and I'm like, oh my God, don't do that. But and building your brand, whoever you are, because I know people think like people aren't gonna like me, but people are gonna like you.
Yeah.
This is not all about like aesthetics and you have to be great. I mean, shit, I do videos in my kitchen with my eye patches on, making my fucking coffee and talking to people.
Yeah.
Like literally, like you could go back and look at it. I have eye patches and I'm making coffee. And that's what I do because I'm like, here I am making coffee again because I've got to go to my 9 to 5. But here's a way so you don't have to do that forever. So yes, relationships and be your fucking self. Because those two things I feel will get you so much further than just telling people to do that bullshit. Because that bullshit doesn't work.
And I think that's a really cool one to think about too, is like you become the niche, and like it kind of goes in line with how did you know what you wanted to do here? Like, so I'll kind of plug my 2 cents in on that and kind of piggyback back off what Rochelle just said too, is we're big on imploring people to build personal brands, right? So whatever you want to build a brand around doesn't necessarily really even matter. Like you're basically building an audience of people kind of revolving around you, your stories, like experiences, and like it opens up scope for monetization in whatever fashion that you want, right? If you weren't on the beginning of this live, like, whether you wanted to build a following in fitness, health, relationships, it's all the same principles really. But I think going into it with like you and a previous version of yourself is the niche is super important, because a lot of people get very hung up on this. I remember doing exercises like, my ideal client was, between 25 and 29 and wore pink nail polish and drove a gray Prius. And like, none of that shit really matters. Like, if we're being honest, like it's only a really prevalent thing if you're running ads, right? Because targeting, but with content creation, it's a different ball game.
Boom. Awesome questions today, guys. Rochelle, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being it sucked, 10 being it's been great. Are you glad that you joined Group Juice? And has it lived up to what everyone said it was?
I 1 to 10, yes. 20. Let's put a 20 on that. It's not even 10. It's way better than fucking 10. And it has surpassed any of my expectations. Like it's just, oh my God, I can't even find the right fucking words. It's so good. And I want to tell everybody that all the time. I'm like, you guys don't know what you're fucking missing. It's not just about make money. It's the money's gonna fucking happen if you just show up as you and you help people. If you just go into service mode, you'll be good.
That's it.
So and the support that you guys give is just, it's unmatched. I don't know anybody who just continues on a 2-hour call until every single question is answered. Nobody fucking does that. Or maybe people do. I just don't know about it. And I don't need to know about it. But you guys do. And that's amazing.
We appreciate that. Is there anything that you want to like leave as far as like a message? Anything you want folks to know that'll help them? Anything at all?
I would say if you want to do this, you can totally do whatever you set your mind to. And yes, this is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. The procedure, the process is simple, but the work that you have to put behind it will fucking pay off. You just, you have to really want this. If you're just going to half-ass it, it's not going to work. And the next program you get into, you're going to half-ass that, and that's not going to work either.
That was very, very solid fucking advice.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay, was it? Oh my God, I was like on the chopping board there. I didn't know what to say, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. So we're getting ready to come to a close, but then I see this pop up, so I'm just gonna address it really quick. Something's broken. Over 1,000 TikTok followers. No conversations. Not getting in group. No raising hand. Putting about 3 videos out a day. Just started Reels. I'm doing something wrong. First, I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but there's like so many things just in your comment like you could test. Like, is something broken? Is your link working? If you're not having conversations, are you pushing for folks to have a conversation? Like, are you making it easy for them to want to talk to you? Not getting in the group. Have you became clear that you have something in your group that will benefit them? Like it'll help them. Have you given them a good enough reason to want to come into the group? Think about wants, desires, pain points, outcomes, results. Raising their hand. I'm assuming that's lead magnets, etc. Again, very similar to getting folks into your group. Do you have
Also,
something?
telling them to go to your group?
Yeah. How many CTAs are you testing? How many different things? How many styles are you testing? If you're putting 3 videos out a day, if I were to go and watch those videos, even if I was a brand new person, hadn't never seen you, is it something that's going to cause me to be curious or intrigued, or something of value when it comes to information or knowledge, right?
Good
So
answer.
yeah, if you got the workshop in there, don't just say, hey, I got this free workshop in my group, right? You should check it out. It's free. Like, look at, like, it's a shit ton of videos in the workshop itself. So like, look at the topics that are covered inside of the workshop. Break them things down, right? Go by topic. You can take each video and probably create 20, 30 pieces of content breaking down the video itself or the training itself. And you can do that for each one. But again, like we talked about earlier, you've got to hit as many angles, because say Group Juice as a whole, there's a shit ton of information in there, different strategies, modules, etc. But it might just be one thing that someone sees or one thing that they need, but I haven't got to it yet in my content. The last 20 days, I might have been talking about, the first 17 things, but thing 18 might be the thing that they need. So when I break that down, it's going to hit with this particular person different, right? So if you haven't tested a bunch of angles or CTAs or topics, that could be it. But you also want to see if you can get someone to test your link to make sure it is working. We have had some funky shit happening between TikTok and Facebook, so running the tests will be a big thing to do as well.
And that's that what you said right there, Flip, is really good, because if you run out, there's days where I can just fire off 10 videos, like record them. And then 2 days later, I'm like, I have no idea what to talk about today. My mind is completely blank. There's nothing inspiring me, whatever it is. Go to some of the trainings, like you just said, get like 20, 30 videos right there. When you run out of stuff or you're not inspired, go to the videos and make some content.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
I like it.
Well, guys, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Hopefully, y'all got some good secret sauce.
You're welcome, Lorraine.
Rochelle, thanks for coming to hang out with us. Thanks for letting us hang out in your group too.
Thanks.
Got all the questions good to go.
Yep.
So everybody got value. If y'all enjoyed this, drop that down in the comments. We appreciate you guys. And if you're in Rochelle's group and you've been on the fence, give her a shout. If you're in our groups and you want to chat about anything, give us a shout. We appreciate all of you hanging with us and listening to me as Pee Wee Herman with my pollen allergies. Appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys. You guys are the best. I really appreciate you all being here and letting me talk. And it was such an honor.
I'll come back through and I'll pin Rochelle's group above if you guys are watching this on the replay. So if you vibe with Rochelle and you like her message, she's got a lot of kick-ass resources in her community. So go ahead and hit that join button, right? So
that's right.
All right,
awesome sauce.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Love, peace, chicken grease. Holler at your boy.
Yep.
Bye.
Ciao.